Hi and welcome to the Monday Live. I'm still sniffling a bit, I'm afraid. Have been since Wednesday, so it's been quite a lengthy sort of buggy kind of thing, but I've been okay. Preemptember carries on, and plenty of preempting going on. Thank you for the hands. And don't forget, we've tried to make it easier to send in hands. Now, if you're used to sending hands in the normal way, please do send them in your normal way. If you're happy to attach the hand and even the commentary, etc., etc. But if you're not used to it, you can now use the Submit Hands button. So let me just show you that. You should see that, I think, there. And that's whether you're a member or non-member. You on the site, you can see, can you see it highlighted in the blue there? And you can submit a hand just by pressing on that, and then what happens is you basically select the cards you want to select and send them in to me. As I say, you don't have to do it that way. If you're familiar with doing it in the way that you do it, like taking a screenshot or something like that, that works just as well for me. It's for those of you really that are not used to knowing how to submit a hand. Hopefully that will make it simple for you. And as I say, any hands will do, but preferably on the topics, because then I can use them. And I'm going to be using a few that were sent in today. Not today, sent in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Because we're focusing on Preemptember, of course, we've been doing week twos. Week twos we've been doing. But any preempts really in Preemptember, because it's nice to have a month where you focus on preempting and try to, I mean, it's actually quite a good idea to almost record them and see how you get on. How well do you get on with your preempts? Because we always remember the good ones, well, probably the bad ones as well. Your partner remembers the bad ones. But getting an idea of how successful your preempts are is quite important. Of course, on the Fridays, we've been doing the opening bid, which has been interesting. And of course, there has been an interesting crossover, because we were looking at hands that were on the cusp of week twos and opening bids last Friday. And it's quite interesting. You know, do you pass? Do you open 1 spade? Do you open 2 spades? What else is going on? Well, of course, we are trying to raise money for charity, as I hope lots of bridge clubs and all sorts around the country are. There's our charity page. We're trying 3 different angles. The main one for me, though, is Alfie's doing a fun run. So my son, he's 6 going on 7 in December, is going to do a run in Newbury at the end of this month. I happened to be in the Ardington at that time. I would have liked to have been doing it, but it just happened that this one cropped up in the month of September. And so that's exciting. We've also got a cake sale at the times we're at Denham. So you can basically donate on the Just Giving page, which you get to via our charity site. So that you can get to that on our homepage, whether you're a member or a non-member. Please do help out. It's exciting for Alfie. He's basically doing a fun run on bouncy castles, I think, is the way it works. Gary from the office is also going to be involved in that, and hopefully the members of our office are baking cakes. Including myself. I will do some chocolate brownies for the Denham events as well. So hopefully we can then raise a nice amount of money to add to the Funds for Cancer Research UK. So that's exciting. And of course, we've got those various holidays, and that is one of the ones, I think. Yes, that's one of the ones which I will be doing the we will be doing, the cake sale at. And you can still come and visit. Remember, you can come and take part, obviously, and sign up for the weekend. You can also just visit us and buy a cake. We've got the festive season coming up. I wanted to switch to this one, though, which is next February, which is, it's sort of a new event. It got missed off the calendar. So please do look at that, because it's one of our more popular events, the Two Bridges events. I think we're sold out in November, but we now have one available in February. So that's me doing the February event there, 10th to the 12th. It's always lovely. It's a gourmet event, so do look at that. That's the Two Bridges there. So we're going to have our usual suspects. We're going to have the 5-level decision to start in a moment. Then we'll do our seminar, and the seminar is going to be on, do we open week 2s on wild hands, so more distributional hands. So we'll have a look at that, and then we will finish off with the bidding quiz. So we'll see how we get on. So let me have a little go over to here. There we go. And we're sitting in the East Hand. Some of you will have already seen this. And the bidding was, well, you're the opening bidder. You're the opening bidder, and you're non-vulnerable, and it seems very reasonable to open a week 2 in heart. So that's what you do. But before you've even got used to your hand, the bidding has accelerated. As you're used to, it's gone 2 spades, 3 clubs, 4 spades. You are non-vulnerable against non-vulnerable opponents. So 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 clubs, 4 spades. So what do you think? What do you think? Okay, well, you can have a think about it. We will revisit that later. What I'm going to do is take you to the seminar. So we are going to be, I've just got to remind myself what I'm doing here, because I am going to be having lots of hands on here. So just got to do that, and then I'm back. Okay, we're talking about week 2s, and the key here is wild week 2s. Should you open a week 2 when you have another long suit beside it? Well, traditionally, there was a simple method, which is you don't preempt when you have a 4-card suit on the side. Now, generally people are preempting a lot more, but you do need to be aware that if you have some kind of 2-suited hand, you are going to have a hand which is worth a lot more than you are suggesting. So if you've got something like a 6-5 hand and it turns out you've got a fit, you may well miss a big contract if partner's got a half decent hand. So it's a big risk. I think, to be honest, a 4-card minor on the side is probably okay these days. Be a little bit careful with a 4-card major, because that probably isn't with the odds, as it were. And particularly if you play week 2s in diamonds, which you mentioned last week, do not open a week 2 in diamonds with a 4-card major on the side. You're just asking for trouble. Okay, that would be poor choice, really. Remember, all bids can win. So any of these 6-4, 6-5 or 6-6 hands, if you open, they can win. But you may well find it's going to randomize things. And actually, it's quite a good thing if you know, these hands don't come up that often. They're quite exciting hands, particularly with 6-6. I'm going to tend to wait and come in later. And the reason for doing that is because with a 6-6 hands, you can show a 2-suited lady. Now, this is assuming you know how to show 2-suiters. You have a 2-suited. Okay, so generally, it's best to avoid preempting with a long major on the side or a massive 6-5 hand. The reason I'm saying be careful opening these week 2s is, I mean, we'll look at some of these hands in a moment. Count the losers. Some of these hands will have 5 losers. Now, that is not a weak opening bid. Now, of course, don't forget, if you don't have a fit, you can't count losers. But if you have a fit, your partner's not going to know game is on. So your partner's just going to pass 2 spades and you'll make 2 spades plus 3 or plus 4. So you've got to be a little bit careful. We're going to look at some hands. This one came in from Sue, and it's an interesting example. So you are dealt this hand. You are the opening bid. Now we'll look at it as first in hand. We will look at it as it was for Sue as well. And the question is, you know, with equal length, for me, because I will have a two-suited overcall of some sort, I'm tending to wait till later. Okay. You know, and what do I mean by two-suited? Well, let's say the opponent's opened a heart. For me, a two-heart bid would show spades in another suit. And then I might bid them again. When it's 6 and 5, it's a little bit more awkward. And we'll look at some of the examples on those, because this is obviously an unusual hand. But notice this hand is amazing. It's a 5-loser hand with 2 aces. This is not a weak hand by any stretch of the imagination in my book. And the problem is, you don't know what you want to do with it. Do you want to even sacrifice with this hand if you find a fit? Because you've got 2 tricks. Your partner might have, I don't know, the ace, king of diamonds, and suddenly they can't make a contract. So I think it's really difficult, and it seems crazy to pass, but I would say 1 in 100 times this will be passed out. Bear in mind, you know, at least 2 people have 11 points, and at least one of those has surely got distribution. I would be very, very surprised if anybody passes out. Notice the guideline of 20, you do fit that. You are 6 plus 6 and 8, but I would never open a hand with 8 points or fewer. You know, at the 1 level, it just doesn't make much sense to me, because partner's going to misjudge. Remember, whatever you do, if you have a fit in spades, things are going to be very rosy in the garden. But here, if you open 1 spade, your partner responds 2 diamonds. You rebid 2 spades, your partner maybe bid 3 hearts. You're not going to be in a great position, okay, because you're not going to be able to show 2 suits. Please, whatever you do, don't plan to open 1 spade and rebid 3 clubs, because then your partner will jump to 7 no trumps expecting 16 points in your hand. Okay, and I don't, you know, if your partner's dealt 20, and you bid that way, then it's not completely unreasonable for your partner to jump to at least 6, if not 7. Now, actually, at the table, it was pass-pass. At the table, it went pass-pass. Does that change your mind? I tell you what, let's go to Q+ and just have a quick look. So the bidding started pass-pass, and it's your bid. So for me, I'm still not bidding 2 spades of this hand. It doesn't make too much sense to me. For me, it's either hyper-aggressive or not aggressive. Bear in mind, you don't know what the right lead is either. So we often open light to say, oh, partner, I want a particular suit led. Well, a club might be led, a spade might be led. So for me, it's either pass or 4 spades, believe it or not. I don't think, you know, 4 spades can get it. Obviously, it's going to be a wild bid. I think I probably prefer pass. 4 spades is the winning action on the particular table when I play, because it goes 4 spades double. I'll show you the hands so you can have a little look. At the table, and this is the crucial thing, and we're going to look at each hand, and at the table Sue chose 2 spades, which I think is okay. I mean, it's not the worst bid. I mean, I've said I'm not going to bid it. That's my choice. Remember, there's not necessarily right answers there. Now you might think, well, I'm going to bid 4 clubs now. Well, that doesn't make... You've got to remember why you preempt. The reason you preempt is to get your opponents to guess. And for all you know, you are thinking you've got 8 points, your partner's a passed hand. Most of the time you're thinking your opponents have missed a game here. So actually I think pass is reasonable, and that's what Sue chose at the table. As it happens, of course, 4 spades is making your way, and that is the problem. When you've got 6 hands, you can make huge numbers of tricks if you've got a fit here. Obviously, there's not much of a fit in spades, but you have got a fit in your second suit, obviously a big one. And the chances of having a fit here are quite big. So the choices for me are 4 spades, as in, you know, go for it. You could choose a 1 spade opener. 3rd in hand, don't forget. 3rd in hand You're allowed to do what you like. Partner's not going to get hyper excited if you open third in hand because partner has passed already. But remember the aim, if you choose a preempt like two spades, your ambition is generally to make the opponent's guess. So I don't want you thinking, oh, well, I'll open two spades and then rebid in another suit. You've really got to be careful with that idea in your mind. Because what will happen here, imagine I move the king of clubs, I don't know, the king, queen of clubs into the east hand or something like that, or give your partner a singleton spade. It will probably turn out that east-west have missed a game. And your two spade bid would have been brilliant. As long as you pass, it will go two spades, three diamonds, pass, 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 and you'll find that they should have been in game and you don't need to sacrifice because they've underbid. But if you bid again on this hand, as you can see, clearly you'll make four spades for five clubs or whatever. But if on a hand where they have the strength and they've misbid, if you bid again, you give them the chance to do what they like. So, I mean, if you actually switch, I suppose the easiest way of doing it is switching the north and the east hands. No, because then you've got three spades. Well, give north a singleton and, I don't know, a 7 count, and it turns out that the opponent should be in game. You know, because West has a really good hand for a 3 diamond bid. But that's what happened at the table. It's what happened here as well. So, anyway. That was that one. Let me have a look at another one. This one, I think, this one was either sent in by Reg or someone else. So I apologise because I don't think it was sent in by Reg. I got a number of hands sent in by Reg. This, if someone's watching sent this hand in, they can tell me because it's a hand that you should finish in slam. But again, it's your opening bid as north. What do you think? So it's your opening bid. Nobody's vulnerable. What do you plan to bid? So again, now this is aceless, so it's different, but it's a 5 loser hand. And if you open 2 hearts, for me, if you open 2 hearts here, you've got to be prepared to pass. Because if you open 2 hearts, and we had the discussion here on another hand where it went 2 hearts, they overcalled 2 spades, and you wanted to bid 3 diamonds, and that, it will work on some hands. The problem is, remember why you're preempting. You're preempting to make life difficult for your opponents. And there will be times where they overcalled 2 spades and they should be in 3 no trumps between them, but they've stopped in 2 spades. Of course, if you then rebid 3 diamonds, you give them the chance to get to their white contract. Maybe it's even doubling you. Okay, so it's really tricky, these hands. I've got a lot more sympathy with opening weak with this hand because, of course, passing and then bidding, you're not going to get across your 6-5 shape. So you're probably going to prefer to bid hearts. So I'm not averse to bidding a weak 2 in hearts here, but make your plan now. If you regularly open a weak 2 and then bid again, your partner's not going to like it because you're giving your opponents 2 chances to bid. It's a nightmare when someone opens a weak 2 in front of you. You haven't got a stopper. You've got a sort of 17 count. You haven't got 4 cards in the unbid major. You're not sure what to do. Do you bid 3 of a minor? You do, you miss a game. So it goes 2 hearts, 3 clubs here. And you're just about to miss 3 no trumps. Well, if North then bids 3 diamonds, you can think, well, I think 3 no trumps, if you see what I mean. So what are you hoping to achieve? That's the key. So if you choose to preempt, I much prefer if you just bid it in one go. I mean, again, if I'm non-vulnerable against vulnerable, I'm almost preferring 4 hearts to 2 hearts. It's much, okay, it's randomizing, it's getting in the way. But, you know, it feels, you know, you got a 5 loser hand after all. You know, I do like 6-5 hands. If you pass, then you're freer. I mean, here's the hand as it was. Now, let's have if you open 2 hearts, what do you think? It turns out you're preempting your partner. Now, I'm just going to take control of South here, but what would you respond with the South hand here? So I'm just going to take control. South's got 21 points, ace doubleton heart. Now, I don't play two spades as forcing, I have to say, but you know, you've made life, it's very hard for South to picture a hand that's anywhere near as good as that. If you put an ordinary hand down in the North seat, surely most of the time, oh, have I not turned? Sorry, I apologise. Thank you, David. There you go. So, apologies. So it's two hearts from North, pass. And you can see on this occasion that it's South's turn to bid. And the problem for South here, it's non-vulnerable. Let's say the hearts come in. You've probably got an ace to lose, maybe the ace of diamonds, and yeah, it's a spade finesse. Now, obviously it's not. You're going to make a slam easily with the hands as they are. But it's hard to imagine it's not worse than 50%, I would have thought. But when partner turns up with a 6-5 hand like that, clearly, you know, you're looking at a spectacular hand and you clearly want to be in a slam. Over two hearts, what would you respond? That's another matter. I mean, you might just bring out the Blackwood. At non-vulnerable though, partner could just be Queen Jack to 6 hearts. I don't know, Queen Jack outside. Again, you know, you've got to, I mean, if you, I really don't like opening week twos when I've got the equivalent of 5 losers in my hand. I'm going to be honest. I mean, this hand's a spectacular South hand, and I think maybe they should be bidding a slam anyway. Okay, but if you take, Dimner's got a point. I mean, let's say you bid Auguste here. Okay, bid 2 no trumps. I don't play two spades as forcing, Suzanne. No. I play it as constructive, non-forcing. I think with a fit in hearts, 2 no trumps is a better bid, probably. With a 7 card spade suit, though, you might be excited if partner has spade support, maybe, and a doubleton club. I don't know. It's quite tricky, isn't it? I think 2 no trumps is an option. What do you bid with the North hand now? I mean, I think over 2N you would say, look, I'm definitely playing in a game. If you play 2 no trumps as always supporting, so if you bid 2 no trumps, if it always shows support, I would probably jump to 4 clubs with the North hand. For me, that would be a splinter. Now, I know I prefer to be able to show the second suit, but I'm trying to show partner, look, if you've really got an invitational hand, I've got a spectacular hand here. You can't be jumping to show the second suit because you shouldn't really have one. So, clearly, and now hopefully South will bid the slam. I mean, it's not perfect slam, but I think, you'd sort of want to be in it. And you'll probably finish in 6 hearts. But on this particular hand, it's going to work. You could play 3 spades. I mean, the problem is, 4 spades, the problem is partner. If you bid 3 spades, jump to 3 spades, which is absolutely fine. If it goes 4 spades, 4 no trumps, and you get no key cards from partner at all, let's say, what do you bid? And of course, it turns out you're missing the king of spades and the ace of diamonds. And I think you should not bid the slam there. So absolutely, you sort of want to be in 6 hearts, Silvio, I think, here. And that your entries come in roughing a club or whatever. It's an interesting hand, but I just don't like opening hands of that excitement. Yeah, no, I'm hoping 4 clubs is taken as a shortage. Absolutely, Jim. North doesn't have a good support because North doesn't have a weak 2. I agree. I'm not opening 2 hearts at the hand. That's my view of things. How does the auction go otherwise? It goes a spade, 2 hearts from North. I am going to borrow points for it now. I'm a passed hand. I think it's reasonable to bid 2 hearts over 1 spade. I'm not bidding 1 no trump, if that makes sense. And that's how you catch up. Partners start suddenly going to get excited. In fact, I can show you that actually. Let's just quickly do that. I think a reasonable auction is probably 1 spade, 2 hearts. As I say, I'm very much prepared, particularly as I've got a doubleton spade. When partner jumps to 3 spades, the good news for partner is that's forcing. I am going to make a Q bid now of 4 clubs, which is going to surprise partner. But again, that should now, interestingly, here we are going to finish in an inferior slam, and that's interesting. So having not opened a week 2, I think we're going to finish in an inferior 6 spades here, which is going to be a struggle, I think. Depends what they lead. I tell you what, let's bid it and see what they do lead, because it's going to go 4 no trumps. Well, I suppose when you bid no key cards, maybe that's it. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose South gives in actually. There you go. Yeah, no, you're probably just going to finish in 5 spades. Yeah. So you bid Blackwood, partner, have you got any key cards? And it turns out that you're missing 2 key cards, as it were, the King of Spades and the Ace of Diamonds, and there's no reason to think that they're right. So that's interesting. So you're only probably going to reach 6 hearts if you do open a horrible 2 hearts. So that's not the perfect example hand, but the most important thing about that, the most important thing is whatever you do is not going to work every time. And all you're trying to do is win in the long run. So for me, that is not a week 2 opening, because partner's never going to believe how strong you are. Okay, remember, planning to bid twice undermines the reasons for preempting. I hope you can understand that. The reason we preempt is to make our opponents guess. If I open first in hand, I have 2 opponents to 1 partner. Most of the time, it's going to be my opponents who are going to have to guess what to do. But if I bid twice, I give them 2 chances to bid. Okay, one last one. This one was sent in by Brian. What do you think about this one? Again, you're first in hand. Let me remind me which seat we're in. I'll let you have a look at that. You can have a decision. I've got to just change the configuration of everybody. Okay. What do you think? As dealer, what do you open with this one? Now, this one I think I'm more happy passing and showing a 2-suiter, because the quality of the suits is such that, it's okay to say, partner, I've got the 2 red suits, what do you think? And I'm quite prepared to come in, as it were, aggressively with the hand, but I love being able to say to my partner, I haven't got an opening hand. Okay, I haven't got no. Remember, if you don't play weak 2 suitors like the unusual 2 no trumps or Michaels or Gestem or whatever the system is, I suppose it's a bit more tricky then. You might just want to bid. The problem is, I mean, again, look at this here. That's a 6 loser hand, but it feels even better than that with King Jack 10 to 5 diamonds. I mean, the hand has so much potential. That's the key. It's got so much potential. So again, for me, with vulnerable opponents, okay, and you're non-vulnerable, I'm just going to pass. Okay, I don't like opening a week 2, and I'm certainly not going to open light. Remember, for me, those of you following me on Friday, My rule is 9 high card points. I want more than 9 high card points. And what I said was 9 high card points plus a 10 or 9. I'm prepared to open if I've got these 6-5 hands, but I'm not going to be doing it. I mean, if I'm 6-6 with 8 points, I'm not opening at the 1 level. Okay, I need the very, very, very least I'm going to have is 9 points. Okay, so let's go to the table and see what happened with that one then. So I'm passing. Let's just see what can happen. Okay, so here it is. We don't get a chance to bid. We're not going to win. Now, oh, I say that. Are you tempted? Oh, are you tempted? What do you think? So the question is, are you tempted? So you can decide. It's gone 1 spade past 3 no trumps. And it's your bid. Wow. I have to say, I probably am. I'm going to get myself into trouble. I'm probably gonna bid 4 hearts and get doubled and go a long way off. Let's have a look. I think it would go a long way off as well. Let's do it. Let's bid 4 hearts and just see what happens. I've got no idea why they're not. So actually, again, what's interesting is they've got to the wrong contract. Now, is 4 hearts doubled a bad score? We have to try to make... oh, they've led a trump. That's not a bad start. So we have to make... how many tricks? Anybody? How many tricks do we have to make? Remember, they don't know what shape we are here. So we have to make 7 tricks. I don't think we're going to manage it, but we'll see. So we've got we've got lucky with the heartbreak. I don't think we're... Well, double dummy, I think I might manage it. Oh dear, there you go. See, life's easy when you can see all the cards. There you go, the king drops the queen. And I will... I actually... so the question here, so I'm going to make lots of tricks, as you can see, because I'm going to make... all those diamonds, and I make a club trick as well. So I'm going to go 1 off. Now, was that missed defence? Well, I should have gone 2 off. But actually, the reason South ducked the Queen of Diamonds was reasonable. South needs an entry to his winning spades. If South had won the Queen of Diamonds and played a spade, we would have roughed it, knocked out the Ace of Diamonds, but they can't get to the south hand to make the winning spades, so we would still have got away with it. Now, bear in mind, we got a 3-3 heartbreak, but we were hoping partner had more than 1 heart. So, you know, is opening 2 hearts worse than bidding 4 hearts later in the auction? Not quite sure. But an interesting hand anyway, and I actually prefer bidding 4 hearts later. I'll tell you what, I'll leave you looking at the hand. I actually prefer bidding 4 hearts later in the auction than I do bidding 2 hearts at the start. Bear in mind that week 2s are not necessarily massively preemptive. Week 3s and week 4s and things like that are so much more difficult. I mean, as I say, week 2s in diamonds, definitely not my favourite thing, because I really don't find them that preemptive at all. They do upset the opponent a little bit, but really not as much as you might think. So here, it turns out 4 no trumps worked, 4 hearts worked out well for us. Interestingly, they've done really well to find 3 no trumps, haven't they? because the spades break absolutely grotesquely. Having said that, I think they'll probably still make 4 spades. No, I don't know. I think a lot of people prefer it. Someone saying, does 3 no trumps promise 4 spades 3-3-3? In the past it did. I have to say a lot of people quite like it to show 4-3-3-3 with 3 spades, but traditionally 1 spade 3 no trumps was 4-3-3-3 with 4 card spade support. Yeah. And I think it's reasonable to play it that way as well, but it should, as I agree. But actually South loves the idea of playing in no trumps with his queens and jacks. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's quickly sum up what we've talked about today. Wild week 2s. When you open a week 2, you are making a descriptive bid as well as a preemptive bid, and your description is saying, I've got a 6-card suit. Most of the time, partner, I'm going to be between 8 and 7 losers. Okay, with a decent week 2, you'll find you have a 7 loser hand, so the equivalent of an opening hand. That's important to understand that. So if I've got ace king to 7 and maybe, I don't know, queen jack of, or ace queen to 7 and queen jack of diamonds outside, you're going to find, partner, I've probably got the playing strength of an opening hand. But if you suddenly find you've got a 5 loser hand, it can get wild results. Notice the 3 hands I showed you today were sent in. If I was trying to put you off opening these week 2s with wild hands, I would make it really nasty for you. Here, some of the times opening them would have worked, some of them they wouldn't. For me, it's a bit randomizing, and that's the thing. Particularly though, and this is the crucial element for me about opening week 2s, for partnership harmony, it is best to try to just stick to your description. Because if you start opening and then bidding again later, your partner is going to start getting upset and start not trusting your week 2s. So for partnership harmony, now that's not to say that on the odd occasion you can't go a little bit wild. That's allowed, but only the odd occasion. Now you'll see me in my teams on Wednesdays. Every so often I think, do you know, let's go for it. And now some of you are going to say I do that all the time, or it's because I've got a glass of wine in my hand, or it's because I haven't got a glass of wine in my hand, for whatever reason. But every so often you just feel like it, and that's okay. But if you just start doing it a little bit too regularly, there's 2 things. One, partner might have to start alerting it, but the thing is, partner will start second guessing you. And that is bad. It's bad. You start losing trust. And as I say, your partnership harmony falls out of the window. Okay, so let's look at the 5-level decision, and then we'll finish with our bidding quiz, I think. So if we go back to that 5, oh no, that's not what I want, that's what I want. If we go back to that 5-level decision, I think I may have to just quickly change the configuration. I don't. We opened 2 hearts on a nice and normal week 2, and that's crucial. What we're going to have to identify here is what 3 clubs means. Now, I can see that some partnerships are going to vary here. But the rule for preempting in my book is you never ever bid again unless partner asks you or invites you to bid again. So that's why I don't like opening a week 2 and then rebidding something else. However, the question here is, has partner invited you to bid again or not? Okay, so it's gone 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 clubs, 4 spades. I.e., what is partner doing? What does this 3 club bid mean? And I think it's quite tricky here, because if it's a genuine club bid, which unless you've agreed between you, it probably is, your hand is pretty spectacular for clubs. Most of the time, I would think my partner's got, I don't know, ace king to 6 clubs and probably some amount of heart support. Okay, so for me, I would be thinking, well, partner, we've got a double fit. I think I'm going to bid. Now, the only proviso to that is that sometimes West is thinking, oh gosh, partner's going to be on lead, I need a club lead. But I think it's still, because it might go 3 clubs double, so he's got to have some kind of heart support. So I think we've got clubs fitting and hearts fitting. And I think whenever we've got a double fit, that's the right time. I would bid 5 clubs though. I mean, that's what I'd do. I'll open up the hands, but I would bid 5 clubs on the hand. Let's see what happens. Well, this is Q plus bidding it. We'll let him. Oh, he's passed 5 clubs, which is interesting. It's gone then 5 spades. There you go. And now we would obviously pass. So that's a good bid from North there, I have to say. And actually, West has passed it out. I might have been tempted to put a double on, I think, from West there. But 5 spades is a good bid from the opponents there. They have managed to find a sacrifice against our making. Yes, indeed. It is a making gain. 5 clubs and 5 hearts. So I was thinking West might go back to 5 hearts there. But the key is you need to be bidding because 4 spades is going to make as well. Can you see that? So 4 spades, this is a double game swing hand. Where 4 spades is making and 5 hearts. So one side can make 420, the other 450. That's 870 difference. I would feel with the aces off the top there. It's tricky, I suppose. You're not expecting to make more than 2 tricks from the West hand, maybe. I mean, you know they've got a singleton club, surely, and they could have a singleton heart, in which case 5 spades is going to make. Playing teams, I'd be tempted with 6 clubs because I'm too frightened that 5 spades is making. It's interesting, isn't it? But the key thing is East has got to bid 5 clubs. East has got to bid 5 clubs. I hope you're happy with that one for me. The idea of that double fit. Okay, gosh, we've been going on about lots, haven't we? I haven't even mentioned the cruises there or the holidays abroad. Just before our bidding quiz there, Croatia and the Christmas cruise. So have a little think about those while you then ponder the bidding quiz. You've got a rather nice hand there, haven't you? 1 spade you've opened. Weak jump overcall from left-hand opponent North. Double pass. And we've had a few of these, haven't we? We're trying to keep a theme going for 3 or 4 hands. 1 spade, 3 clubs, weak jump overcall. Awkward, isn't it? Double from partner pass. And it's your bid, so you can see the answer to that on the website. And good luck with that. So I hope you've enjoyed that. We'll have our normal teams on the Wednesday, and our Friday we're talking about the opening bid. Don't forget, we've got our usual game tonight. That's on Into Bridge. I'm going to be in touch with Into Bridge this week about various things coming up. Please do send in your hands either in the normal way or use our submit hand option, preemptember or on the opening bid. The opening bid we're going to be talking about some more cusp hands. I think on Friday we will look at the cusp between opening 1 and opening strong. Again, a really tricky element of bidding. So I hope you enjoyed that and see you again soon.